I have people tell me, it's like, oh, Nolan, I already have reviews. It's like, well, yeah, you do, but this thing integrates it to the extent that you haven't ever heard of before.
Right.
So every single page, when we build out a website, we'll have a little shortcode on it that allows righteous reviews to communicate with every page of the site.
Right.
As far as we know, it's the only software that allows you to tag even a service page, right?
Right. Yeah.
So
you could technically tag any page.
Any page
the
in
way
there.
it's built. It.
The way we built it. Yeah.
You could feature from, like, you can tag all your service pages. You can tag location pages. You could even have most recent reviews show up on your home page if you wanted.
Right.
Anywhere you want to put them.
So I don't know where to start with all of it, but it takes your review and reputation and expands it to organic content, mapping, and conversion, and all kinds of stuff that you do with it. It's the equivalent of taking it and doubling the amount of SEO work. Hey there, guys, it's Nolan and Jason here.
Howdy.
We're going to talk about a really cool software platform. I guess it's a web-based widget, right? What would you call it?
Yeah, I mean, it is
web-based.
It
app.
runs off a web server and everything, but yeah, it's a web-based app that we tie into.
So yeah, we use this righteous reviews exclusively for all of our stuff.
Right.
And it's really
even for our own sites, actually.
Yeah. So even for our own sites. Actually, I forgot it's got that little text feature in there too. I'll add that in there.
Yeah.
But yeah. So let's go over what it is and why it's so important. I mean, I have people tell me, it's like, oh, Nolan, I already have reviews. It's like, well, yeah, you do, but this thing integrates it to the extent that you haven't ever heard of before.
Right.
So every single page, when we build out a website, we'll have a little shortcode on it that allows righteous reviews to communicate with every page of the site.
Right.
As far as we know, it's the only software that allows you to tag even a service page, right?
Right. Yeah.
So
you could technically tag any page.
Any page
the
in
way
there.
It's built. It.
The way we built it. Yeah.
You could feature from, like, you can tag all your service pages. You can tag location pages. You could even have most recent reviews show up on your home page if you wanted.
Right.
Anywhere you want to put them.
So I don't know where to start with all of it, but it takes your review and reputation and expands it to organic content, mapping, and conversion, and all kinds of stuff that you do with it. It's the equivalent of taking it and doubling the amount of SEO work for free without, once it's integrated in properly.
Free.
Yeah. It is. It would cost them. I mean, if you have
to try to actually have somebody go in and write all this stuff out and build it out from scratch every time, yeah.
I don't mean, yeah, right. So if you had, let's say somebody has 3 trucks in the field each day.
Right.
And let's say they just do just 5 jobs a day. So 5 jobs a day, they're getting 100 5 days a week. They're getting 100 times to where they're going to geo check in, so you go to the website, you go to your customer's house, you check in. It wraps the schema code into the geo location, right?
Right. It puts geo coordinate schema into that check-in.
Yeah, so here's what's so cool about it. So you're there, you're like, I'm here, and it'll geo check it, not the actual address, but within 2 blocks.
Right.
Because that'd be a little bit of a security deal. And so it's within 2 blocks. It'll drop that geo check-in on first you'll say, I'm doing this service in this city. Right. I'm at Susie and Bob's house.
Right.
And then say, okay, and then here's
it allows you to take a picture of the work you're doing.
Allows you to take a picture, and you're doing this service in this city.
Right.
So every time the city might change and the service might change, the check-in and then you put Susie and Bob's email and cell phone number down, and that's pretty ordinary stuff nowadays. But automatically they get your Google and Facebook and Yelp link texted and emailed directly over to them, right?
Yeah.
Now, on that, you got a cookie on it that did the geo coordinates.
Right.
And they can drive 10 miles away and do the review, and it'll cookie track the coordinate of your check-in to the proper city and all that.
So it'll tie their review to your geo check-in, and then you can display in different places on your site service pages or location pages, like we said.
Right.
And both the check-in and the review will have matching geo data.
Right.
Which, as we have discovered, Google respects geodata in schema.
Very difficult to cheat on this, right?
Right.
Because it's completely randomized sites showing up wrapped in the schema code that Google reads. And so now normally, normally you don't have people making fantastic websites like ours anyway. But let's say somebody did make a fantastic website with a lot of service pages and a lot of city pages in it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot of people have made service pages and city pages now. Sorry about that. So a lot of people have made service pages and city pages now.
Right.
So what sets you, now all of a sudden you're checking in, and I'm talking just the check-in will show up. So the check-in shows up and pings to the service you did and the geo-coordinated stuff and pings to the city page. Google comes back to the site and says, oh, well, shoot, they're probably actually doing this because this would be really hard to...
Well, because it ties the two together, the people that give you the review, if it's a Google review, they're logged in onto their Google account, which has their actual location.
Right.
Same thing for their...
So they'll know it was close to it.
Same thing.
So that's a total... But that we hadn't gotten there yet.
Oh,
we hadn't gotten to the review yet. This is just the check-in.
Okay.
So somebody goes on there, pops in their phone, takes like 60, 90 seconds, name, name, email, cell phone number, and this service and this city page, and boom. That's all you got to do, right?
Right.
And then all of a sudden this check-in drops on a master map on your website, and then a little bitty map on the city page, and then the check-in drops on the service in the city.
Right.
And
like it'll show a big map and it'll drop a pin at every place you've checked.
Right.
Right.
Within 2 blocks.
Right.
And then later the customer gives you a Google, Yelp, Facebook review, and then that also shows up on the page.
Right.
And then like Jason said earlier, if you took a picture, then that also shows up on the page.
Right.
And if you tried to pay us for 100 points of websites updates, I mean, it would cost a lot more.
Yeah, if we had to go in
Yeah.
and like code that and program it every time you did it, it would be a fortune.
Yeah, it would cost much more.
Yeah.
It'd cost you twice. So you get excellent services, everything that we can do. You guys are participating, and really the best way you've ever been able to participate.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Because the cool thing about this is, you say, "Oh, I serve this area, and I've got a page for this area." Well, that's great. Google sees that, and they don't have any proof. But then you start having these little bits of added content on your site with this geolocation data, and you do 4 today and then 4 the next day, and it's within your service area that you've already claimed, and all over this area you've got these little dots showing up, and Google sees that and they say that is a natural organic pattern. It looks legitimate. And they respect it, and the big deal is that they're more likely to show you up for mapping in those given areas.
Let's talk a couple of things in there I wanted to respond to. So you said that they claim, so Jason's talking about claiming it in your GMB account. So,
yeah, sorry.
So you're like, I service 50 miles,
Right.
right? Well, Google, or 30, let's say it's 25 miles. And Google's like, well, shoot,
Okay, fine.
whatever, you want to take over the world like every other business guy.
Right.
And then it's like, not only do I service 25 miles, but I've got 20 service pages and 20 city pages. And they're like, somebody with 20 city pages again, right?
Like everybody else.
Just like
Yeah.
a bunch of other guys that got aggressive. So like, let's say you're in a big market, literally you have like 50 people that have this, right?
Right.
And then it's not just, so the code, then you're in 25 miles and you picked it, and Google said you picked the radius, and then all of a sudden you're dropping this geo-coordinate stuff all over the website that's schema wrapped into it that they can read, that coincides with the area, that looks completely legitimate, that coincides with the general vicinity of the actual reviews coming in.
Right.
And then they have your city page to choose from, which is all of a sudden ours is better quality than the other ones anyway, but now it also has check-ins and reviews, and it has pictures. And now not only does Google like it better, but Google knows that if they were to show it to somebody, instead of just having several hundred words with the city, now they've got pictures of jobs and check-ins and reviews.
And the pictures alone, those are unique, personalized photos that aren't showing up they're not stock photography.
And why is that important, Jason?
Because it's not stock photography
Google
showing up 100 different websites.
But Google can tell that it's...
Google can see those pictures, and they say, that's another thing that makes them say, okay, that's legit, that's a real thing.
Right. So if you start to think about this, like in the eyes of not just it is the eyes of Google, but Google's trying to look at it through the eyes of the customer.
Right.
So what's best for the customer? Is that a better city page? Is that a better service page? Is it better for someone to look up a service and go, God, I need this service? but I'm not sure that I trust the company.
Right.
I like their website. I like some of the reviews. I am so much more comforted by the fact that a dozen people have had this service performed before in my city. Yeah, and then all of a sudden Google's like, well, yeah, that's a better page to show somebody, right?
Yeah, somebody comes in looking for a service and they go and Google looks and there's 20 guys saying they service that area. Oh, but look, this one guy, he has a page for that area, he has a page for that service, and he has check-ins and reviews one street over.
Just on that service.
Just on that
yeah,
service.
for that specific
That's
service.
the guy, and 5-star reviews, and that's the guy.
I
That's
mean,
the
really,
show.
I'm having an epiphany moment here about it because it really is brilliant. Because if you look at a company that performs home services, there might be dozens of things that there's dozens of things that they do. The reviews aren't necessarily relevant to what that customer's getting.
Right.
It's just dozens of reviews. It's like this company has had dozens of reviews, but may or may not have done exactly what you're getting done.
Right.
And now all of a sudden it's like, no, wait a minute, they have done exactly what
They have a review that's tagged for this exact service.
Yeah, and what are you supposed to do if somebody has 200 reviews as a customer? It's like, oh gosh, I've got a really specialty issue with my house.
Right. Right.
Let me go read all 200 reviews
To see if
to
anybody's
see if
had
anybody else had a good
this
experience.
weird off-brand
Yeah.
appliance that I
Yeah, or whatever it is.
yeah, whatever it is.
But so yeah, it's really brilliant when you think about it. And if you look at it from the eyes of the search engine, trying to please the client to become the best search engine, which ultimately is just pleasing that customer going to your site,
Right.
then you'll realize how beautiful it is to do all this. And remember, all of this Righteous Reviews is really a reputation platform that helps mitigate bad reviews. It helps conversion. It helps content, which helps, and code base too, which helps your organic rankings, which helps your map placement as well with the reviews themselves. So it's a reputation management item, it's a review item, it's a conversion deal, it's a content issue, it's a code-based thing, and the geolocating is fantastic. You can still do this without, it's best if somebody does this from the home, but if somebody wasn't doing it from the house, they could still tag the city from the desktop in the office.
Right.
It just wouldn't, but the geocode is beautiful.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So the geocode is what really sets it off.
Yeah, the geolocation is what makes it. That's the part that Google really respects is the geodata on the schema.
The schema otherwise isn't in there, right? If it's
If they don't have geodata, the schema doesn't happen. And Google likes geodata schema better than they like town and state.
Right. Yeah, we're trying. This is all in an attempt to better that. And so, what would happen if you had this and your competitors don't do this? Then you're obviously going to have a better chance of increasing rankings by providing, all of this activity on your service pages and on your city pages. And I want to repeat again: we're unaware of any other reputation management platform software that tags check-ins and or post reviews and pictures onto the service pages.
Right.
We are unaware of it, correct? So
Yeah,
as far as we know, this
that was kind of the thing that we said. What are all these other ones lacking? And that was the big thing.
It'll surely get more, but
And I mean, to me, the most exciting thing about this is as you're using it over the course of time, you're reinforcing all of your other SEO efforts, giving Google more data and more examples of what you do and where you do it, which is, that's the most important thing.
Right.
So you keep using this, and year over year, it just builds and builds and builds. And if you get out ahead of your competition, it's like your old horse on the racetrack thing.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you've got so many laps on your competition. As long as you keep doing this, they're not going to catch up.
It's hard to compete. It's hard to compete with stuff like this. So I'll tell people frequently, we don't ask clients to do anything. There's a few things clients should do, like send us personalized photos,
Right.
so that we can personalize the website or make some social postings. But the reviews. This is the one thing that if they didn't do anything else, this is the one thing we should do.
Yeah, that's the most important thing you do, and it's the one thing we cannot.
Yeah, so
we can provide you the platform
Right.
to do this, but that's where it ends for us. We can't solicit your reviews.
we
and
do
stuff
some
like
more. I mean, we of course we provide the
that. No,
software
I
platform.
mean just entire in.
we work on
terms
their
of getting-
GMB account though.
Well, yeah, but that's not getting the review.
It doesn't get the
That's
review.
just
No,
you
agreed.
Putting the review
Agreed.
platform.
I mean, but setting this up though, just so y'all know, is not easy nor done well usually by most companies. So
Right.
you're getting this coded into each page. It's built with the intention in mind. It wasn't an afterthought. Normally, when you have these widgets added on or these plugins added on, it is literally an afterthought slap-on deal.
Yeah.
So you take the cruddy website that you have, which does not have the code base integrated into every page, and you don't have the proper services with full content nor the city pages written by hand from scratch and coded properly. So you literally like attach it on. We take this software and integrate it from top to bottom into the site, and with all the intentions of mind of having it show up.
Right.
Not just slapping on some review software. So it adds content. It helps with organic ranking. It pins, it does check-ins, it geo-wraps the code, which goes into it. The maps get pinned on the website and obviously helps with texting and emailing clients for more reviews for your primary platforms. It does and wraps in through schema ordered lists, right, for the aggregate star rating to show the stars and organic rankings. It even has a text feature that is a little pop-up box that clients can text you that's part of this straight from your website, which is included.
Yeah, there's a little website widget that's part of it that's click and they can give you a quick, please give me a call back kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not really related to the reputation side of it as much, but it's part of the.
We include it as just
it's
part of an
part of the
overall
software.
communication suite. Yeah.
So let me make sure I got all this. Each page is coded. Only one in the world that we're aware of that tags the pins and all that to the service page.
Both locations and services and brings them together.
Let me tell you, I had a thought about this the other day. Why would anyone have done this yet? And it's actually what I just said, because the reputation management. Yeah, it's hard. That ultimately is the answer.
Yeah.
So
it was hard
because it's an afterthought, and someone's selling the widget only.
Yeah.
So they sell the widget only for say $350 a month, but it doesn't come with a website or anything else. Well, if you're attaching it to basically what is 90% subpar, 95% crappy websites, which is what everybody has, that doesn't have services like ours, which is very few companies like us to go to, right?
Right.
And they don't have service pages in quantity on their website.
Yeah, the widget is just there to make you. A lot of times these widgets are just there to make you feel like you did something.
They'll have crappy city pages on these sites sometimes, and that's why it's only on city pages. They'll do a dupe content city page 20 times.
Yeah.
Here's something crazy too, just so y'all understand this. City pages had stopped working unless your site was really old. So you put up new city pages, they didn't work anymore.
Yeah, they didn't show up in results at all.
All of a sudden, you add this stuff to it, and there's a few pieces of software that'll do it, and the city pages are showing up for people. Yep. So all of a sudden people are like, I got to get software like this. I got to get these reviews to integrate and pin and peg to these city pages. But they didn't put it on service pages because the people that produce the software basically probably had almost no percentage of the sites that it was being attached to having service pages to do it.
Having service pages. Put it on and adding and wrapping, doing the schema in such a way so that the hierarchy showed service and location and rating and everything else.
Yeah.
Again, it's hard. Schema
imagine
is a pain.
if you made the software, didn't integrate it, and then had people integrating it, and then had the people that used it getting called if they were like third party representing it, saying, "Dude, why'd you tell them it would work on service pages? They've got us wanting to write like all this content and do things properly. This is bogus," right?
You just said we could add a code.
Yeah.
Now they want work.
And now they want us to do stuff. So yeah, I mean, you can
get into the web business to actually work.
yeah, I got into the web business to sell crap to people. Hope that it worked. Yeah, sarcastic guys. We're bitter from all the poor quality.
Bitter from so many years.
We're bitter from so many years of hearing so many poor quality web companies out there. But this is some sweet. This is the sweet stuff right now, though, right? This is the sweetest stuff going. Everything else we do is still fantastic. It's just that this is like everything's on legal steroids or something. What do I call it? It's not synthetic steroids. It's low T.
Low T.
This is legal low T dosages from your
when
doctor.
Our developer worked on this for months, and when he broke through on it, he came running into my office to show me the features. He was just like, "Look what it does! Look what it does! Look what it does!"
Yeah, that's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
So get more reviews, manage your online reputation, get more organic rankings in the droves, geocode locate. Those geocode gets wrapped and pinned on your website, which shows up on a master map within 2-block radius, as well as the service page and the city page, not to mention the reviews, and each page is coded on the website for cities or services up front when you do this. This is part of every site that we offer here, by the way. For getting better rankings on organic, better ranking on mapping, and more reviews in general around the web. Not to mention this little text feature. But I think that's a good
I would like to make one point.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
If you start using this, if you get this on your site, you have to use it.
Yeah.
I took a call from a client a week before last.
Yeah.
We put righteous reviews on his site, and it'd been like a month, and he called and said, "Well, there's nothing on those pages." Well, have your guys been doing check-ins?
Yeah.
No. Well, did the customer service rep do the training on the check-in just to make sure that we had done, what we're supposed to do? Because we call and train people how to.
Yeah, you'll get trained on it in 5 minutes. I mean, it's 5 minutes.
Yeah, just nothing.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, they showed us how to use it." I said, "Okay, there's nothing for us to put on those pages if you don't do check-ins and then try to get reviews.
Right.
If you don't get reviews, at least the check-ins will show and give you something. But yes, if you get this, you have to use it or it doesn't."
Hey, by the way,
work.
for the sake of saying that, I reserve the right to retract this, but right now, there's no restriction on how many of your technicians you can sign up with it. So if you got 20 people out in the field, we'll sign them up.
Yeah, they can all be using it
and
at
they
once.
charge-
We don't have a per seat charge right now.
Not yet, but people charge for that. I mean, they might, if you all of a sudden had 20 trucks in the field, they might charge you, no telling,
Yeah,
Could
who
cost
knows?
you $1,500 a month. Or
They
something. I don't know.
they might start do seat licensing or whatever.
They
But
do.
right now,
They
this
do,
is just
and they-
included.
But yeah, right now it's included, and when you have this actually go in and work, it's just unbelievable what it does to the website. Just realize what it's doing to everything. It's like nonstop work on the site.
Yeah, it's like nonstop content
And it's
and content updates with schema and review schema, location schema, service schema, all tied together in proper hierarchy. It's
a
absolutely beautiful.
self-perpetuating deal. So as you do this, it helps rankings, more calls come in, more service, more check-ins, more reviews, more
and
service,
so on
more,
and
yeah.
so on.
So it really, it's just some slick stuff. And nobody's doing it yet to speak of.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
What he was talking about was
If you can't tell, we're excited about it.
yeah, he's being cynical about it. I don't expect every single client to do it, but I know that the more savvy ones will pick this up.
Right.
This is a gift, and this is a period of time. You can actually take this against people that are already out there and start to trump them on this stuff, who have a bunch of reviews, and it will help out. Anyway, all right, y'all call us when you're ready.
Take it easy.
Take it easy. Bye bye.